After examining the materials collected from the burnt S6 coach, forensic experts are now certain that the fire was caused by petrol. Survivors say they did not at first notice the fire. It was the acrid smoke that alerted them to the danger. Petrol is highly combustible, but could it generate the black smoke that the people in the compartment saw? Was the problem.
Smoke will result in a greater quantity when the oxygen supply is limited, as was the case in this S6 bogie, whose windows were all closed and supply of oxygen was extremely limited. Burning of petrol result in black smoke, and it is quite bitter and pungent, and is very unpleasant to the persons and can cause even death, which I think has been in this case in respect of a large number of people.
सब अपनी अपनी सेफ साइड करेंगे, कोई बोले अंदर चढ़ा है साधन सामान लेके, ये वो सब तो सब बंद कर दिए थे। जो कंपार्ट, जैसे कि मैं ये कंपार्टमेंट में हूँ तो मैंने मेरे बाहरी दरवाज़ा बंद, ऐसे ही सब ने बंद कर दिए।
दरवाजे तो हमने बंद कर रखे थे, क्योंकि हमको तो इतना ही था कि एक आध मिनट में ट्रेन चलने वाली है।
रात को डिब्बे में सब परिवार वाले था, तो ये डिब्बे में 6 में से 7 में, 7 में से 6 में से 5 में जाओ, तो बीच वाला जो दरवाज़ा था तो हम लोगों ने पहले से बंद कर रखा कि भाई रात को कोई आवर जवर नहीं हम दो करें। तो उसकी वजह से वहाँ से 6 वाले जब आग लगाई थी तो वहाँ से खोलने की कोशिश कर रहा था, लेकिन हमको ऐसा था कि भाई ये कोई टोले में से कोई आदमी होगा, तो किसी ने खोला और वहाँ से भी धुआं भी आया, उसमें प्लास्टिक जलता हुए कोई केमिकल की दुर्गंध हो, ऐसी बास भी आई। वो लोग वहाँ से एक दो कार्यकर्ता भी आ गए, जैसे काला काला एकदम हो गया था, कौन था ये भी मालूम नहीं थी, दुर्गंध भी आ रही थी।
Under these circumstances, with the limited supply of oxygen, generation of smoke becomes more, and the moment oxygen supply came in larger quantities through the windows, either due to melting or breaking, the fire had resulted into huge flames. As per experiments performed by the experts of forensic science laboratory, I agree with them that it is not possible to throw liquid from a distance as few feet, and that too when you are standing at a much lower platform, the window being 7 feet. Their experiments indicate that hardly 15 to 20% liquid will go inside. That's not possible. I agree with them that more than that liquid will not go inside. Similarly, even if they stand on the heaps of stones as they did, even then their attempt was a failure.
मेरा अंदाजा है कि बाहर से तो नहीं, अंदर ही से जलाया हुआ है, क्योंकि बाहर से इतना ऊंचा था कि जल्दी फेंकना मुश्किल हो जाएगा, क्योंकि आग अंदर से लपट निकल रही थी, तो बाहर भी डिब्बे में लपट हुए, कुछ सब अंदर ही से निकल रही थी। ऊंचाई इतनी थी, लगभग नीचे रेलवे लाइन से 7 फुट जैसी ऊंचाई थी, वो नीचे गिट्टी आ जाती है, इसके बाद वो खिड़की लगभग 6 से 7 फुट खिड़की पड़ती है लगभग ऊंचाई।
If the inflammable liquid had been thrown or an attempt was made to throw it inside the bogie, the liquid would have fallen on the track, and that liquid would have shown its existence by affecting the lower portion of the S6 bogie, which did not take place. As such, it is clear that there was no liquid in huge quantities thrown inside.
The government said first that the mob had thrown inflammable material on the coach from the outside. Mr. Sehgal found this just could not have been the case. His opinion matches with the opinion of experts from the Forensic Science Laboratory, Ahmedabad. To locate the point from where the fire actually originated, Mr. Sehgal again examined the coach for evidence.
And I found that the damage on this festival is of peculiar nature, in the sense that the fire had burnt inner portion more of the vestibule than the outer portion, indicating that the fire had resulted from inside to outside and not vice versa. Another important point which I have observed is that floor is missing right from the entrance door up to the middle of the coach. This indicates probably the origin of fire, which has started from one door, the fire spread towards the other door, but it could go to the middle of the bogie S6.
The doors, windows and vestibules of coach S6 were closed when it caught fire. The car sevaks and passengers of the coach themselves admit that they closed them. According to the experts of the Forensic Science Laboratory, Ahmedabad, the petrol, at least 60 litres, should have been on the floor near seat number 72 if this sort of damage is to happen. How could it reach inside is the question. Initially, the prosecution was saying that the petrol was thrown from outside after the windows were broken. When the FSL report came and it was proved that no window facing the crowd was broken open and petrol was not thrown from the outside, then the prosecution changed their version to hold on to their argument that there was a conspiracy.
There was a furious crowd. Immediately they started pelting the stones, and their aim was S6 coach. So the passengers who were traveling in the coach immediately closed the doors and windows, and immediately certain persons, they broke open the windows, and certain persons through the vestibule between S6 and S7, they made their entry good, and they poured the inflammable article, and thereafter the S6 coach was set to fire.
But this theory doesn't look like plausible for the simple reason that number of persons who are in the coach already present will certainly notice if somebody enters and tries to do some mischief.
There is no evidence till so far to show that there was any person who had actually done such a thing. In fact, we have asked, the commission has tried to investigate and find out. Nobody, neither the passengers, nor the car sevaks, nor anybody has given an iota of evidence saying that somebody had entered the S6 coach with some amount of inflammable material and had poured the same inside the coach.
If somebody was carrying petrol inside the carriage due to any reason, if there is a critical ratio between air and petrol, this works as an explosion mixture. This explosive mixture burns very fast and may be the case in this case.
All the evidences are disproving the conspiracy theory, but the Sangh Parivar, in its desperation to justify the genocide of Muslims in Gujarat in the name of a natural reaction to the burning of innocent car sevaks by the Islamic groups, is still sticking to it. Arbitrary arrests made by the police in Godhra also show this.
इसमें एक ऐसा आदमी है जिसको 93 में 100% ब्लाइंड डिक्लेयर किया हुआ है, उसके पास गवर्नमेंट तरफ से उसको शाही भी मिलती है। उस आदमी को ये बताया कि यह आदमी वहाँ मोप में खड़ा किसी को इशारे कर रहा था। ऐसे करके एक आदमी को लिया है जो जिसका मेडिकल एविडेंस है वो 100% ब्लाइंड है। ब्लाइंड किसको क्या इशारा कर पाएगा? पुलिस के कहने मुताबिक इनायत जुजारा कर आदमी है, उसको कह रहे कि हमने सुबह 9 बजे उसको वहाँ स्पॉट्स पे अरेस्ट किया हुआ है, जबकि उसी दिन वो गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट था, इरिगेशन डिपार्टमेंट सर्विस कर रहा है। वहाँ जाके उसने पे बिल बनाया, पे बिल बनाने के बाद वो ट्रेजरी में सबमिट किया, और सबमिट होने के बाद वहाँ से तकरीबन 1:30 बजे जब कर्फ्यू गोधरा में इम्पोज हुआ, उस वक्त उस ऑफिस वालों ने कहा कि आप घर जाओ, तो वो घर गया। दोपहर को 3 बजे उसको पकड़ लाए और उसके आदमी बता रहे कि हम 9 बजे वहाँ पकड़ा है, जबकि उसका रिकॉर्ड बता रहे कि वहाँ 1:30 बजे वहाँ काम करा, 1:30 बजे उसने काम किया हुआ है।